let's call the meeting of the Redevelopment Authority to order. Would you like to call the roll, please?
Sure. Ted Penn,
Here.
Julie Van Straten, Carol Carls,
Here.
Kendall Dvorak,
Here.
Joe Van Derzen,
Here.
Jerry Henry Gillis, Lisa Vanden Avond.
Okay, well, we do have a quorum, so we can move on to our meeting. The second item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes of the January 27th, 2025 Redevelopment Authority meeting. So we need a motion.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Been moved in second. Is there any discussion on the minutes? If not, been moved in second to approve them. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion carried. Okay, item 3, public comment on matters not on the agenda. Comments made during the public comment period shall pertain only to matters under the jurisdiction of the Redevelopment Authority, 6-3F DPMC. I don't see anybody here that would like to speak unless they're back in that corner. I don't think so.
I don't know if anyone's online either.
You know
Virtual.
that? If somebody was online.
I can't tell, but you could just say if there's anyone.
Is there anyone online? If there is, now would be this time to tell us who you are and what your address is and what you'd like to talk about. Nobody. Okay, there's nobody on the line either, so I guess we'll move on to the next agenda item. Item 4 is the consideration and possible action on the Pere Home Improvement Loan for Kristy Pikus, property owner at 606 North Clay Street, De Pere, Wisconsin, 54115. So who would like to kick that off?
I'll take that one.
Okay, Jason, go ahead.
All right. So, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. As you know, we had the former Deeper Roots Home Improvement Loan Program before, where it had a matching loan of up to $20,000 that the homeowners had to match. That one, we did not get a lot of traction with that. So about 5-6 months ago, we decided to redo the loan program after talking to some residents out in the community that the match was a hindrance for them. So we redid the program, took it back to finance personnel, and this is a loan that has come through underneath the new one. So the new one now is just simply the home improvement loan program, and we have taken it up to $50,000. There's no match. And this time the city is going to provide up to $50,000 at a rate of 1.5 percentage points underneath the U.S. Treasury note at the time. So where it is right now, the Treasury is roughly around like 4.2% right now. So this loan will come in at about 2.75%, somewhere in there. So with this, Kristy Pikus has submitted an application. She lives at 606 North Clay Street. She is looking to use the money to she has applied for $29,941.22 to provide home improvement services for her house. She's looking to remodel her kitchen and bathroom. So this is something that staff, we have looked over, and we have analyzed her loan amounts. We have gone through the necessary due diligence process with her. She meets all the qualifications in terms of the year the house was created, the year the house was built, the property value as well is underneath what we are looking for, and also her income is underneath what we are looking for as well too. So she meets all of those thresholds. So we are recommending that you guys approve this loan in the amount of $29,941. With us and having, if you guys do approve the loan, it will take her loan and this loan into a combined loan of value of 49%, which is what we are underneath what we are looking for as well. So she is well within those qualifications as well. And if she decides to amortize it rather, up to 15 years, her payments will be roughly $202 underneath our new program.
How much?
$202 underneath our program. And with all of her loans, we will take a second mortgage. We'll take a second position behind her primary lender.
So there's collateral?
Yes, so we will register the loan with the Register of Deeds office downtown. So if she ever decides to sell the house before the 15-year period is up, we get paid from the proceeds of the sale at closing, or any sort of refinancing or anything of that nature as well.
Do you have any questions they'd like to ask Joe?
Yeah.
Yes, Joe.
Could we, like,
at one time when we had to put improvements in like sidewalks and stuff like that in our city, the city would did amortize it over 15 years and they put it on our taxes. That no longer does, we no longer do that, right? Or
Do we
We do that.
put it
for
on taxes or?
Could be placed on the tax bill. I don't
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure on that.
Yeah, that could. I'll just step in real quick. It's possible that it could be. I'm not sure if it would be a special tax or a special charge ultimately, but there theoretically could be other ways to try to collect on that. I don't know offhand which one would be the correct one, but yeah, theoretically it could be a special charge or a special tax.
another, is there a performance on this? Do we actually check to make sure that this work has been done?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So, yeah, so according to the terms of the home loan program, our inspections department, they have to file the necessary permits and things of that nature. And then our inspectors have to go out and inspect the work and make sure that everything is up to city to peer standards.
And is the loan paid up front or is it paid in, like construction loans are paid a third, and a third, is that,
This will, in essence, act as like a second mortgage on the property.
so they'd get it up front?
Yep. Yep. And we do have a 6-month delay in terms of, we have a 6-month grace period in the start of the loan. So the loan payments are delayed for 6 months. Loan repayment is delayed
Yeah.
for 6 months, so.
So does Bauer have the ability to pay versus collateral? Ability to pay is always better than having to go after collateral.
Yeah.
So I have no idea about her income or how she's gonna pay it, but
Yeah, she does. I mean, that was one of the stipulations. We had to make sure that she could actually afford, afford the second payment with her loan, even if it's like typically like with the bank would do like a second mortgage or HELOC or anything of that nature. We vetted her through that process as well.
But she's got better than 50% equity in
Correct.
property, so
Correct.
that's good.
Yes.
yeah. Anybody have anything else they'd like to ask the staff?
Is there an amount of money that the city of Pier has in this special coffer for loans? Do we have like a cap, we can loan out?
Up to $50,000
No, but
per individual, but
Yeah,
we're
but I
still
mean-
looking at roughly about 500,000 in there.
Okay.
So you get 10 plus.
Yeah. So we had 2 of these that came through last year, where individuals did a match, and then after that, they just dropped off. During the Rock the Block program, we were out marketing this extensively during that because we thought this would be a great time for people to fix up their homes or utilize this program to fix up their homes. We just couldn't get any traction on individuals due to the match that they had to come up with. So that was one of the stipulations, well, I shouldn't say stipulations, but that was one of the reasons why we went in and redid the loan program, to take out the match and just do like a straight loan amount where we, in essence, would act as like a second mortgage.
I think they'd show.
So this is already, the council signed off on all that and the whole
Correct.
deal, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep, went through finance and personnel, then on to council. And this is the first loan that comes through underneath the new program. And we'll have another one next month because I got another application that came in last week, so.
So if the council already approved the loan program, is this the final approval, or do you have to take it yet to council?
You have to still take this one back to council.
You do,
Yep.
okay,
Just like the ones before.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
same.
Make a motion to approve?
Been moved to approve. Do we have a second?
Second it?
Been moved in second to approve the recommendation. Anything further? Not, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, well, I guess you can run with that one or after you go to the council.
Absolutely. We'll take it there next week.
And then item 5 is a status update for 2535 Lawrence Drive to Pier, which is the one we talked about last time.
Yes, this is the property in which we had reached out, well, we had our special meeting. We looked at in terms of like declaring this a blighted property. So now we are just coming here with a status update. So I want to introduce Attorney Eric Erdman. He's one of the city attorneys here on staff. He's been with us, an instrumental part in all the meetings and guiding us through this relocation process and ways that which we can hurry up and acquire this property. So I'll let Eric introduce himself and give a quick update.
Yep. My name is Eric. Like Poison said, I work at the city attorney's office, assistant city attorney, and I've been more involved in the in the last couple of months since you've made the blight determination that the council agreed with, and now we're at the you guys did the relocation order resolution of necessity that was also approved by council. That was filed with the county clerk, so we triggered now the or going forward certain parts of the process, including trying to reach out to the property owner with information related to some required elements to establish an initial offer. So what I mean by that is, reach out from the appraiser, reaching out by our environmental consultant, and then reaching out by a relocation plan specialist as well in order to help the owner determine, potential costs that they might be eligible for. And that plan ultimately goes to the Department of Administration, has to be approved there. So that all being said, one of the biggest issues was just establishing a line of communication with the owner, because that really was driving a lot of really the reason for the condemnation as well, not being able to just sell it at arm's length. But so after prepping for having to, we haven't been able to contact them. None of the communications had really worked for a really extended period of time. We did eventually, through kind of an informal tenant, get current contact information with the owner. So we have been in contact with the owner now. So we are moving through now the kind of still the initial stage process, but really the big lifts. So we're working on there's a draft appraisal that's being done. There was a phase 1 environmental assessment that took place last week. That report I don't think has come through yet, but they were able to get on site through contact with the owner, take pictures, get a sense of the property. And I confirm with the owner too that they also are in receipt of some information that was sent by the relocation plan specialist. So they're working on a plan with the owner, and the relocation plan specialist are going through information. I'm not sure how involved the city is going to be with that as well, but ultimately they're going to send that to the Department of Administration, and that'll all help the city come up with ultimately an initial offer to tender to that owner. So long story short, we are getting movement now, really over the last couple weeks, because that's really when we've been able to actually make contact with the owner, and making it in a situation where we're kind of working together on it will make the whole process, I think, much easier than the alternative, which would be, basically trying to get access, almost a combative access where you need like a warrant to get on or something like that in order just to do these tests, which thankfully right now we will not have to exercise that option, since we do have, that working relationship now with the owner. So my hope is going forward that, the timeline for approval for all of this will be what it is, but then there's going to be a phase 2 environmental assessment that'll take place at, when they're able to fit it on their schedule with doing some drilling on the property in order to get a sense of what kind of remediation might be necessary, because it is a unique site, as you know, with the history of that. So, and then from there, we would have all the information we would need essentially to provide an offer, and we would work with our outside counsel who specialize in doing condemnation work as well. And then they would have some statutory time periods they being the owner would have some statutory time periods to potentially get their own appraisal as well, which I believe is 60 days from when they actually receive an initial offer. So the hope is, like on the back end with some of those timelines, if they're, generally agreeable with, the city and what's going on, that we can shorten some of those timeframes on the other end, that they're not going to, wait out the entire 60 days and, wait out the entire statutory time period that they have to, to exercise certain rights that they have, and also maybe make it easier for them to, or more likely that they're going to accept the offer that comes through from the city once we have, all the final environmental information, once we have the final appraisal, and, once the relocation plan process is done. So all in all, I would say I'm cautiously optimistic with how things have gone in the last couple of weeks, in a way that I don't think any of us really were, leading into the last couple of weeks. So
we'll have to meet next month. Will we know more by then?
I think so. It depends. I don't know if we're gonna have all the information at that point that we would need in order to make an offer, but just if for no other reason than the environmental part of it, it's gonna be probably at least several weeks out once the phase 1 report is done in order to get a phase 2 in. So I don't know if we'll have like a formal update or anything really tangible in like 30 days, but it's possible. I'm planning on, and I'm working with our outside counsel on setting something up just probably on the appraisal part of the draft appraisal and kind of going from there and seeing how the environmental reports will impact ultimately that part and then the offer. So
Is that owner a local person?
yes.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know if they live in like De Pere, but they're generally used to work in.
6 years to get a hold of them?
Yeah, I from what I understand, no one's been able to really make contact with them over an extended period of time. Like like for instance, the phone number that we reached was through essentially a family member that they have a bunch of numbers that are listed that are out there and none of them worked. As like one example. So we just were able to find it essentially through contacting a family member, kind of informal tenant on the property. So kind of just, yeah. There's been some other factors, I think, as well, just more recently, not over the course of the time frame that you referenced, but there's been some stuff recently that has made him harder to reach, is what he conveyed to me. So, yep.
Is there some diminished mental capacity there?
I think there were some, I don't know about that specifically, but there were issues with, without going too far into it, some health issues more recently over the last like 6 to 8 months. So
Never could
sounded
figure
like
out. Don't pay your taxes for 6 years and nobody does anything.
Yeah, the county never,
right. So we're trying to help, I guess you'd say, clean up a mess that has, that we're sort of been tasked with doing something that could have probably been in the possession of the county, or certainly would have been eligible for that. Yeah.
well, I think we should just keep pushing forward and see where we
Yep.
go with this thing, because it's, can't exist to remain like it is.
Right. So.
Anything else anybody has on that? Okay, thanks for that update.
Thank you.
So I guess that's all we have on the agenda, but what, we're gonna have to meet next week, you're thinking? Not next week, next month?
Next month, if this loan process, the loan applicant wants to proceed with it, then yes, we'll probably call a meeting for
You
next
know what
month.
that date is? Or maybe you know?
We'd probably do it the fourth Monday of May, right, Quayson?
Yeah, but that would be Memorial Day.
That would be
Oh,
Memorial Day,
right.
yeah.
Yeah, so we'd either have to do it,
It would be the Tuesday.
that Tuesday, the 27th.
Well, that could work Tuesday.
Okay.
All right, well, she
Well,
put out
I'll
a,
I'll send out a,
she put out a request to get a quorum and, or, once we know it,
To Polis. Okay.
you want to use that date. But if we can do it and we can put it on the calendar now, knowing in advance that might happen, it'd be easier to get the quorum.
It's a strong possibility, so yes, I would say let's put it on a calendar.
Okay. Okay, I don't think we have anything else on the agenda, so we just need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Been moved and seconded.
just a second here.
Joe,
Yeah,
she made a motion.
Oh,
he
gotcha.
seconded.
second.
Been moved and seconded to adjourn. All those in favor?
Hey.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. We're adjourned.